So mm, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in order to understand real-time operating system, there are these two things called process and task. Okay, so anything which is happening, like for example, some some task we need to do, those in technical terms are collection of process. And what is a process? Let's see now. Process is a single execution of a program. Okay, when a program executes, that single execution is a process. Each process has its own state. Okay, it has its own state, whether it has complete, whether it is not complete, whether it is going on. Okay, so it has its own state, and it includes memory and registers. This one we know from all 8051 exercises, practicals, and lessons, that all the any operation when it has to do, it will store in register and memory. Say the we know it, right? So so that is a process. Okay, threads. Threads are processes that share the same address space. Okay, threads are also processes only that share the same address space. Okay, that share the same address space. That same if there is a same usage of same address or memory, then that is called a threads. But threads means there can be many processes. Processes is only one execution of program, but many processes, if it is using same memory address, that is threads. Task is group of processes and threads. It is composed of several processes and threads. Please understand these three. Okay, so there is this release time and deadline. Okay, any processes or any task will have some release time and deadline. What is this release time? Time at which processes becomes ready to execute. It is not the time when it starts. Okay, it is time when it is ready to execute. Please try to understand here. Deadline. What is deadline? Time at which process must finish within that time, within that frequency. Okay, time at which process must finish. That's the time at which it starts to execute. It's ready to execute. Release time. The deadline. The time at which process must finish. There are two types of deadline frequencies. Okay, frequency means how much it is repeating again and again. Okay, two types of deadline frequencies. One is periodic and one is aperiodic. So from the term only, periodic is the frequency is always equal. The time between two deadline is always equal. Aperiodic, the time between the deadline is not equal. Are you getting or not? Deadline type. Okay, deadline type, it is hard, soft, firm. So hard is failure to meet deadline causes system failure. Khachaya taimo ngachi gani. Do you remember or not? Hard type of RTOS, soft RTOS है, real time. Hard real time RTOS, soft real time RTOS से तय में रहना चाहिए. So hard is failure to meet deadline causes system failure. Okay, it is matter of life and death में वादे hard नदी. Soft nadi, failure to meet deadline causes degraded response. That means there is a degradation of performance. A performance will be affected in soft. In hard, it will be system failure in hard. Okay, are you getting? Now, firm is the third one is there, that is firm. Late response is useless, but some late response can be tolerated. So what do you mean by late? Firm. In hard and soft deadline, okay, in hard and soft there is a failure to meet deadline. That means your task or process is not complete on time. Hard and soft nadi. But in firm, it is late and late response can be tolerated. Okay, some late response, not all. Nothing will happen same way ani nadi, firm nadi. Okay, even if you give late. So see this, Analu. See that this P1 is a process, Analu. This P1 is a process, okay? So it will start from release time to deadline. Deadline, that means the amchi nahi mein wade. Okay, so release time, deadline. And period is from here to here. Can you see that, Analu? This is aperiodic process. This one is periodic process. Periodic process initiated at start of period. Okay, Analu. Periodic process initiated at start of period. This period is always equal in periodic. But here in aperiodic, there is no such period equal time between release time and deadline. That's why there is not, the diagram is quite similar, but they have mentioned period here in periodic. Means there is a time, there is a fixed amount of time between this release time, this line and this line. Okay, so time, this x-axis is a time. So I don't think there is a problem here. Is there any doubt here or unable to understand? Period of a process is the time between successive execution. See, okay, it's a process of a process is the time between successive execution. So, you know, this must be the release time for this period, but it was the deadline for the previous process in period. It would be, but here we don't know whether it has met deadline or not. Okay. Rate is the inverse period, and rate is not that important, but this period, you know, period is the now there is another thing called the when we, this is one process, we're talking about one process. Okay, this is one process. Now when many processes are combined together, okay, when many processes are combined together, that means the process should be executed one after another. Okay, that is called as pipelined processes. Or we'll in later terms we'll use some more other terms, but right now it is pipelined. That means if one process is getting complete, next process should start. So next process is in the pipeline. Okay, so pipelined execution of processes allows initiation interval to be less than the period. See here, pipelined execution of processes allows initiation interval to be less than the period. For example, CPU 1 is executing I plus something else and I plus 4. Okay, this is different process. These two are different process which is sidelined to one another. But CPU 2 will also execute other processes, but it will not start at the same time as CPU 1. That's why the initiation period has been changed. Are you getting? CPU 1, CPU 2, CPU 3, all CPUs initiation period is different. That's why it will be, the initiation interval will be different when there is pipelined processes. Now when there are many processes, okay, it is very important for us to understand the state of the process now. Okay, state of the process, whether it is running, whether it has done, whether it is executing, whether it is ready to do. So there are three states in process state nalo. There are three states. These states are called as executing state, waiting state, ready state. So one is ready state, one is executing state, one is waiting state. Are you getting or not? It's only theory only. You'll understand. Not that difficult. A process goes into ready state and it happens like a cycle. These are in a cycle, these three states. A process goes into the ready state when it receives its required data and when it enters a new period. I have written in a very simple lines, should not confuse you. A process goes into ready state. When it will go into ready state? When it receives required data and when it enters a new period. Okay, when it has to enter the new period. Okay, when it has to enter the new period, that time, that means new process has to start. That time it will go into ready state. So it has chosen to run. Okay, it has chosen to run because it was ready. Okay, it receives all the data. Now all the resources that he has got, now he is ready to execute same. So that's why it is a ready state. A process goes into the waiting state when it needs data that it has not yet received. or when it has finished all its work for the current period. So that means waiting the hema honime or ready the hema honime. Which one will come before, waiting state or ready state? Hmm?
Waiting, sir.
Waiting the honime na. Because in waiting, the data or the resource has not received yet in waiting nadi. Only when it receives everything, that means when it has not received any data or any resources, it will not go into ready state. So it will wait. Then it will receive, then it will move to ready state. But there is chances in between where ready state now when it starts, it does not have a data. That time it has to go back to the waiting state. But most of the time, waiting state comes first. A process can go into the executing state only when it has all its data and ready to run. I don't have to tell you this are very only theory actually. Embedded system yani first and second unit is a full theory like this only. But we'll see this time in context of some examples, then it becomes more interesting. Chosen to run, see this gets data CPU, when it gets all the data and it's executing, when it's running, that time it is executing. May please understand this, okay? Needs data, when in the executing state, when it needs data, it will come back to these two. Okay, so this diagram becomes important one to understand, and these three, what is executing, what is waiting, what is ready. Now, in order to run this process, or in order to change from one state to next state, there is this small programming to do that is called that programming is handled by a data structure called as process control block. Okay, this is something like a register. Okay, PCB is something like a register which has a data structure having the information using which OS controls the process state. Okay, so PCB has all the information from which state to which state it has to go. Okay, it will be handled by PCB only, and actually that is controlled by your operating system, that is your RTOS, real-time operating system. So RTOS controls this process state, okay, process state using PCB, process control block. This is stored in kernel. Okay, this is the process control block stored in kernel. This is a very protective area, and it doesn't many people don't have access to this kernel. Consist of the information about the process state. Are you getting or not? PCB keeps the information, or PCB decides, okay, you have to go to next state, Selapgon. So if one state to running state to waiting state Jondelu, PCB will decide. The programmer will make the change in the PCB programming. So what is there in PCB? What all are there in PCB? It has process ID, it has process priority, it has parent process, it keeps information of child process, which is the first process, which is the next process, process ki ID. Each process has an ID. Each process has a priority. So all this information are kept in your process control block. Address to the next process PCB which will run. So in which process the PCB should move, that address. So task, okay, did you understood PCB and process states? Full theory only. Task. So similarly, process is there is a cycle for process states. So similarly, there is also a cycle for task states. Okay, task state. But when we're talking about task states, then we are talking about in a more general scenario. We'll see. Okay, more general, because task is processes imade, the group of processes. Dachidi, this is only one. Now in task, we're dealing with this in multiple terms consecutively. It is happening. So there is little bit of change. We'll see. So task is like a process or thread, but it is actually group of processes or threads. Task term used for the process in the RTOS for the embedded system. So in embedded system, task is used very oftenly. Anything you do, that is a task. A task consists of executable programs. Also, it has a without program, it cannot run. Without program, process cannot run. So you need some program, executable program. And it has to have a state of which is controlled by OS. Okay. All it is controlled by OS. The Chigi process state is controlled by PCB. Task states also controlled by TCB, the task control block here. So task control block, a data structure having the information using the OS controls the task states. OS controls task states, OS controls process states. A task can be any one of these state running, blocked, or finished. Now, this is task states. Now, Dachidi, there are only three, that is ready, waiting, and what was the last one? Executing. Only three. But now in task states, there is four. Idle and blocked has also come now. Please note this. This is one difference between these task states and process states. It is not same. Ready and running thing the children explain be ready and running. But what about this idle and block now? Because these are new things. So block state delay. There's idle state. What is this idle state? Idle state, task has been created and memory allotted to its structure, but it is not ready. It is not scheduled by kernel. Only when it is scheduled by kernel, then only it will come to the picture. Then only that becomes your task to complete. Until and unless it is not scheduled by the kernel. What is kernel? Your OS only. Inside OS there is kernel. Inside OS there is a kernel. Only when kernel schedules, okay, at 9 a.m. you should do this work, kernel. You're putting an alarm at 8 o'clock. that is scheduled by kernel. That means operating system is scheduling. Okay, but it is not ready. It is not scheduled and it is not ready. Idle na the idle na. So ready state and running state, but even then, let's see. Created task is ready and is schedulable by the kernel. In idle, it is not scheduled by kernel, it is not ready, but in ready, it is scheduled by kernel now, but not running at present, as another higher priority task is scheduled to run and gets the system resources at this instance. Do I have to explain this? Very simple terms. Only when it is scheduled by kernel, then only it is classified that this task should be run by the operating system. Okay, are you getting or not? Operating system ki classify beyond okay, kernel ki say okay, this is inside kernel image, that means next the anybody. But there is another one higher body that is this task states are controlled by TCB. So TCB will say that okay, this task has to be completed first. After this, you should run. After this, you should run. It's a long body. But when it is in ready state, already some higher priority task is running. So you have to wait. That particular state has to wait. That state is called as a ready state. Little different, but it happens in process also, like this. Run state, executing the codes and getting the system resources at this time. See, when it is running, okay, when it is that task is running means it is getting the system resources. This term is very important. Getting the system resources at this instance. Whenever the task or process is running, that time it is getting the system resource, because that task is using the system. That task or process is using that particular operating system, so it will use its resources. Okay, so it will run till it needs some IPC. We'll see what is this IPC. Some input, that is, just remember that there is some inputs, or wait for an event, or till it gets preempted. We'll understand what is preemption. Till it gets preempted by another higher priority task. So it will run, it will use the system resource until it gets preempted. Means some other higher priority task has come now by another higher priority task, and the time has been exhausted. If the certain time is exhausted, then that task has to complete, because that task was allocated only for certain duration of time. Okay. Block states. See, what is block state? Execution of task code suspends after saving the needed parameter into its context. The execution is suspended here in block state after saving the needed. It needs some input, or it needs to wait for an event, or wait for higher priority. So it is waiting to block to enable running after blocking. Okay. Deleted task. The created task has memory. The created task has memory de-allotted to its structure. Okay. the created task has memory de-allotted to its structure. It frees the memory, task has to be recreated, Daru, and it runs again and again in a cycle. See, this is in a cycle. Anidhi. First idle, ready, then running, then blocked. This running and blocked can be, mutual. Then it comes to idle, Daru, ready. So I explain what is this idle, what is this ready. You need to understand what is this running state and what is this blocked state. So process is controlled by PCB. Similarly, task is controlled by TCB, controlled task control block. What are there inside this task control block? Program counter, stack pointer, CPU, process status register. This is in task context. There are many different blocks. One is task ID, one is task context, one is task priority, and one is task context init. So task context has all these registers. Task ID, each particular task has its own unique ID. Task priority, which tasks need to be completed first and which tasks need to be completed afterwards. And task init, context init. This one has this all properties, see, all related to pointer and data structure. This one, the Anigi. This one is this one. Need not go in depth, but just understand what are there inside TCB. Okay. Task ID, it is ID number between 0 to 255. Task ID. Task priority, if between 0 and 255, is represented by a byte. Task priority. There will be a parent task, there will be a child task. Parent task means which task was before your task, the one which is executing, which task was performing before this task, that is parent task. The one which is going to execute next is child task. You are the present. Address to the next task TCB of task that will run next. All these are contents of your TCB. Okay, you're getting, and more detail is given here in this block. Allocated program memory address, blocks in physical secondary. See, all these are how it is allocating the space, address space. So task characteristics, see, task characteristics, this task is independent. First of all, it takes control of the CPU when scheduled by a scheduler, that is scheduled by a scheduler is in kernel. So that's why indirectly we are saying every task and process is scheduled by kernels in Omade, because the scheduler is inside the kernel. It takes control when the scheduler controls and runs the task. That's why we're calling this as task is independent, because during that time the task controls the OS, the control of the OS is given to that particular task. Task cannot call another task. Okay, the task cannot call another task. It will be decided only by the programmer or the TCB. A task cannot control that. Task key duty is to only perform those processes. Task. Each task is identified by a TCB. Each task has an ID. just as each function has a name. Okay. The ID, task ID is divided between, we have already done this. ID is also an index of the task. Each task may have priority parameters. See, they have a priority. Each task has a priority. The priority, if between 0 and 255, is represented by a byte. The task runs by context switching to that task by the OS scheduler. Okay. Multitasking operations are by context switching between the various tasks. Okay. There are many tasks. Now each task has to run one after another. So the priority or when to scheduling of all these tasks is done by a phenomenon called context switching. Okay, this one is very important. Context switching. Each task has to schedule by the OS. Remember, this OS will schedule these different tasks by using context switching. Okay, we'll see. Next topic is our, I think, scheduling. Each task must be either re-entrained routine or must have a way to solve the shared data problem. Okay, so each task will be, should have been in a routine. That means which task has to complete this, which task has to complete next, which task was completed. All these are set by your kernel, and kernel has already its routine timetable. Zumbe, okay, this task you should run this first, next task should run. He has a timetable. Why it has to do that? But it has to solve the problem of data sharing. That's why it has to shape this routine. Is it clear or not? So scheduling is one important phenomenon. Which process need to run first? Which process need to run next? This scheduling, when we are talking about scheduling, there are these policies, okay, different policies. Why scheduling is important? Why this scheduling policies has come into existence? And what are these scheduling policies? These are very important questions. Okay, now see, so let's just, I'll introduce you with scheduling, then we'll go to more important topics like context switching, preemption. But just tell me, did you understood till this point scheduling, the why it is important? Why scheduling is important? It has to schedule because there are many tasks and there are task states. So it has to schedule which tasks need to be completed first and which tasks need to be completed next. So priority has been saved. Priority has been set. Okay, so I'll just introduce. I'll not take long, but let's see what is this scheduling policies. Why we are doing scheduling? Because to achieve maximum CPU utilization. Okay, to achieve maximum CPU utilization using multi-programming, Anna. Several processes are kept in memory at one time. Okay, several processes are kept in memory at one time so that the memory can be utilized very effectively and with efficiency. Every time a running process has to wait, okay, every time a running process has to wait, another process can take over use of the CPU. So that space, when it is gaining the control of CPU, the process is allocating some memory. Okay, process is allocating some memory. So this memory has to be utilized in very effectively to achieve maximum CPU utilization. Are you getting or not? Scheduling of the CPU is fundamental to the operating. This is yes, it is very fundamental. Operating system Nalu, your computer is running right now because due to scheduling. So scheduling is very important. Okay, you have your Zoom is running right now in your computer. So you have given priority to the Zoom application. For example, in my laptop, my Microsoft PowerPoint is also open. My other internet explorers are also open. I mean, Mozilla is also open, but I have not opened. It is open, but the display I'm giving priority to the Zoom and Microsoft PowerPoint. This is all scheduling. That means schedule is happening at very fast rate. Process execution consists of a cycle. Okay, process execution consists of a cycle of a CPU time burst and an input output time burst. So every time a process executes, it happens in a cycle whereby it has a CPU time burst and input output time burst. We call this. So between these two time, okay, the states will run. So process alternate between these two states. Okay, that is CPU burst and input output burst. So there is these two times the process needs to alternate between two states. Okay, these two states. Eventually, the final CPU burst ends with a system request to terminate execution. Okay, so we'll stop here. This is quite different, I know, compared to your microcontroller 8051. It's quite different. So it will take time for you to understand. Who all are absent? Sherab is absent. Tele? Doji Gelsen is absent. Tele? One more. Kile wants to.
Kilaunch is present, sir.
One more. Gamo. See. Share up the Doji Chamchi me. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.